Martin Kristensson is going to present Teamwork is an individual thing. Welcome on stage.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You want to start that one as well,
Yeah,
or
sure.
do I have unlimited time?
No.
No, you will leave soon enough. Hello. This talk is about what parts of personal development you need to be a good part of a team, to create a good team. That is the idea. I could start by saying, why do we need teamwork? Well, you've heard a lot of talks today about complexity. We have increasing complexity probably in the world, or maybe it's always been there. But the important part that I can add to all the other conversations is that we need a diverse, possibly a little bit bigger team to cover all the parts to solve our complexity. But that also increases complexity in itself. So hence we need some skills, new skills maybe, to think about in this. And this new thinking, the foundation of it is that a well-functioning team is one entity of some kind, which is comprised by all these individuals in it. And the one team exhibits some kind of behavior that we would like it to exhibit, but that behavior stems from what behaviors and mindset the individuals have. So that's the key thing why we need to look at both individuals in the team and the team. As a team coach that I've been for quite some time, I've looked too much on the team as a whole and not looked at the parts of it, which are systems in itself. I Googled skills to be a team player, and these ones came up. If you can see them, do you think they are reasonable? You've seen them before? For whom are these beneficial? Is it for the company? Is it for the individual? Is it for a team? I don't think so. I believe that a lot of these are for the individual, maybe definitely for the company or for the whatever work we need to get done, but not necessarily for the team in itself, to have a functioning team. So that made me question, what's a team player? What's the definition of a team player? And I realized that I don't like that word. It feels a little bit weird. So maybe team member or something would be better. So what I think is that we need to focus on is togetherness, both in a tangible way, like we need to focus on how we act together, how we build a team that sits and work together, for instance. All of the mob programming stuff that we've been hearing about in this conference, for instance. But we also need to see the intangible things. What kind of soft skills do we need as a team member to create this better team? And a few years back I found this. Can you see this? Maybe it's too small. But it's a stack of skills. A stack in the sense that whatever is on top requires whatever is under. And I will quickly, in like 5 minutes, go through all of these. So it will be quick. But if we want to have a team work that actually is good, then we need collaboration, communication, psychological safety. You've heard these, but we also need a bunch of other things. So I'm going to go through it real quick. The only thing I'm going to say about collaboration is that collaboration is viewed differently depending on who looks at the collaborating thing. Some people think that collaboration is people sitting somewhat together. And some people think that collaboration is something totally different. I think that if you have good collaboration, you will be able to tackle whatever comes at you, which makes it easy in the best thing to use in a complex situation. To have good collaboration, we need to have good communication. Traditionally, communication has been to get the clear message through in some sort. I see value in that, but I also see value in getting it through in a nice way, so that that communication you have actually builds the collaboration. Non-violent communication is a good idea, for instance, talking about expressing your needs and having respect for each other. So, as you can hear, we also need psychological safety, interpersonal trust to be able to communicate well, to be able to dare to communicate. And I've never really understood that why many people, maybe not you in here, but many people say that, hey, if we have psychological safety, we can take risks and say what you want, and then they just take risks and say what they want, which is not the case here. So I like the definition that it's the absence of interpersonal fear that we need here. So we need to build something that enables us to have psychological safety. And that's what the rest of this talk is about. So I've gone through the top layer. You've heard those before. Now let's talk about the foundation of these. Active listening and empathy is to deeply understand and accept each other's perspectives. You can, of course, use active listening techniques and stuff and start listening. What I like to do is to understand each other through different kinds of models. That's the way I'm routed in my head. So I've used all kinds of models, such as these that I've listed here, to understand each other and really put myself into other people's shoes. So I will take some examples of this. One thing I've done is that I've used something called the integral quadrants that you maybe see if I'm not totally in the way. And never mind exactly what it is. I can tell you that you usually have a primary quadrant of these that is typically your approach to problem solving, for instance. My approach to creating PowerPoints such as this is to cram as much information in it as possible so that you can read it afterwards and stuff. And that's typically in this corner. That's what you do when you're over there. But something I do other that's also typically in that corner is that I start every approach, every problem solving I have with trying to categorize what kind of problem is this and can we use some kind of model on how to handle it best. And I've done this with my teams to make them see each other better through the lenses of these kinds of models, not necessarily this one, but other models. So that's one way to get empathy in. To be able to open up in this way, to be able to actively listen to another person talking and actually put yourself in their shoes, you need to be vulnerable. And that means you need to admit that you have this perspective, such as what I did here before, saying that, oh, I cram my PowerPoints. One thing I've definitely done during this conference that a friend of mine told me a few years back is that I've started talking to people as if I knew them for ages. And that means that I get stuck in categorizing people. I'm going like, oh, you're a friend, you're a friend, you're a friend, you're a friend. You're also a friend. Thank you. And yeah, and I get stuck. I got derailed there, definitely. And that means that when I get vulnerable and I open up to people, I start getting self-aware because people tell me things. That, oh, you're getting stuck in this, or you're doing that, and I'm talking to people as if I know them forever, for instance. And that means I'm realizing that I have some kind of shadow somewhere. I'm blinded by something here, have a blind spot. And if I start trying to see these behaviors I start self-reflect on them as well. And now we're getting down to the core of things. When I have all of that, I get the willingness to change. I realize there is a motivation underlying somewhere here that makes me want to fix this in some way. And I start doing that. And by starting to change, I get to level up, basically. And that's the key thing in personal development, is to try to get yourself to level up. My name is Martin Christensen, and I help people level up. Thank you.